Will you follow me tonight to break their spine and reclaim what once was mine? Those cravens backstab me, deceive me, never shall tolerate their crimes again. Now let the hunt begin. Yeah, 7,000 souls scared and daunted, such a tale of woe. Not too long ago, this village
Age.
And we are live. And of course, the one camera that doesn't work is Groudon.
At least it's not me. They're not all me, so.
I mean, why not? Why not have this start off? I mean, par for the course.
Mm-hmm.
This is why people love us. But yeah, welcome in everyone to the initial start off of our Season 2 world building. As you can see, we have a new cast member with us. Zoro is filling in due to RL time problems. Whoa. I ruined Groudon's camera again.
So it's Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it's Tuesday. Professional stream, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Pro streamers.
Zoro is also on our Tuesday show. Or not our Tuesday show, our Wednesday show.
Well, she is on our Tuesday show.
Is she muted?
I think so.
I'm muted! Oh my god!
My ears.
100% professional, 90% of the time.
Yep.
She fits in already.
HB Fox, thank you for... HB Fox with the 8th month resub that for some reason didn't pop up. Pro streamers.
Rude. Trying to be sassy with it and everything.
But yeah, so let's get some hearts in chat if you got them for HB Fox for that 8 months of support. God, everything already
Absolutely.
starting off to a dumpster fire.
It's okay.
But-
It's just world building and character creation. It's a mulligan.
This is true. SSJ Matt, everyone lived in the final game of season 1. They were able to seal Zatrot, and everyone lived happily ever after.
Everyone lived.
If you haven't seen it, it should still be on VODs, and I think it's on YouTube now.
It should be on YouTube. I'm really horrible at this community manager thing, but I'll make sure that it's available on YouTube after. I really need to put that job off on somebody else.
So I don't know about you guys, but I have been chomping at the bit to just start this campaign off because, like, 2 weeks before the end of season 1, I began like drawing up ideas. SSJ Matt, thank you for that 2-month resub.
Oh yeah.
Happy new start.
Happy new start.
That 2-month resub is the most important one. That means the first resub wasn't just a fluke. You're actually gonna stick around. It's
Yep.
awesome.
We love you all. Love you guys. If you guys weren't here, I wouldn't be able to put these guys through hell.
Through hell.
Yep. But yeah.
Literally through hell, Groudon. Literally through hell.
Hi.
Yeah, but look forward to those shenanigans. Like I was explaining to everyone before we went live, our Wednesday game is a low magic campaign. This, on the other hand, is going to be a high magic campaign, kind of like the one that we did in season 1. But we have a surprise for everyone.
We do.
Well, HB Fox graced me with something, and
Oh, I think I know that.
we've been working together to give things some life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move you guys to your brand new world map.
It's pixelated. Oh, there it is.
Zoom out.
I like this.
And since it's a huge map, so we can't fit it all on the screen at once, I have this little... I pressed the button so nobody's on camera right now, but it's the entire world map of the world we will be playing in. And this is the world we are going to be giving life to tonight. You could see that the southern region has names already. And that's because I went a little ham, and the game is going to be starting off in the southern region itself. But we've got the central, the north, the Lost Realms, the Far Reach, the Western Realm, and Tharia to go over tonight. And grab this.
So we're starting off in the southern region. So basically, you're saying that I'm from Glimmercross.
You actually, because you're a princess and you're from a kingdom, you actually have to be from a specific territory, and that's why Tharia is in there. Now, granted, Ro can overrule this, and obviously it's your character, so it's your choice as well. But if you were from a kingdom situated in one of these like massive territories, then I felt it would kind of play havoc a bit with the way the stories run. So Tharia was kind of like the perfect little island that can be a self-contained kingdom that you come from, and it still sticks with your story and allows you to do the whole travel thing without throwing the story out of whack.
And it could tie into also the whole like getting married crap.
Yeah, because it does play quite nicely into that, because marrying into your family from one of the other territories would kind of mean that Tharia becomes part of that other territory. And let's face it, everybody in every world, real or otherwise, is always going to fight over land. So it fits.
Well, thank you for giving me an island.
That's the whole reason why I didn't touch Tharia. I figured that was Alicorn's island.
You're a princess, so it's not yours yet.
She gets her own island? Snazzy.
It had a name, so I kind of figured.
Yeah, we'll get into backstory later, but it looks awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely more than I could have asked for. And it gives us a huge world to play with.
I'm presuming Glimmercross is connected to the Shadowfae.
Glimmercross, I actually have a backstory for those areas. Glimmercross is not connected to the Shadowfae. These southern realms down here are mainly human settlements. This is like a human kingdom.
That would just be a perfect like Shadowfae name for someplace.
Yeah.
Well,
so
there's plenty more room for names. As you can see, all the triangles and the circles and stuff are all cities and towns, and there's capitals on there and stuff as well that are yet unnamed. It's only the ones in that southern area down there that have names. So we can give those other places fitting names today.
Yep. And that's what we are going to be. That's what we're going to be doing today, as well as doing character creation. And if all goes according to plan, seeing as how we are now a 4-hour show and running until 10:30 Pacific time, that means next week we can kick off with the inaugural session to start season 2. But much like the Wednesday game when we did world creation, chat, you also can bring in any of your suggestions for the map itself. If you have any ideas for locations or city names or anything of the sort, you can post them in chat and we can get them into the game as well. So the community has a chance to breathe life into our campaign as it goes along. But you guys have a chance to look at this map right now. Anyone getting any ideas off of anything? I remember HB Fox talking about let's see. Let's get this to objects and tokens map so I can just do this. Like this area right here. No, this cannot be a mini Chult. No Chults allowed.
When I was making that kind of like southwestern continent, I considered making that into a like a mini Chult, because that's where Chult is in Faerun. And the shape was kind of similar. It's full placed into jungle. It's perfect.
It's like, oh, and over here we have Chult.
What a nice place. I love it.
But Fox, I remember where I'm pinging right now. You were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
About this being a Gearforged city.
Yeah. Because I know that's kind of a race technically that you're really excited about, and I know a number of us really like the whole like clockwork steampunk aesthetic. So working it into this campaign is like a match made in heaven. And the way the map is kind of situated in that area, I thought it would be really neat if right in between where those two bits of land kind of stop and the water flows through, if just a massive like clockwork gate was built there to protect the inner city right here, which is the capital of that territory. You can see I also placed another city right there, which would kind of be like the defensive area of the gate and allow passengers and ships and such to pass through or not pass through to get to that inner city. And the capital there could be like a hub of clockwork innovation for this entire world. And I think a lot of really neat stuff could be done there. Plus, it's right near the Golden Peaks, which would naturally be a good mining spot. So that's good trade there.
So this would be like more of a high technically advanced society, more aside from being like a
It'll
like
pretty
something.
much be Iron Forge.
Yeah, it would be Iron Forge.
It's like magic meets mechanics.
So techno magic.
Yeah.
Do you have a name for this city?
No, not a chance. It took everything out of me to put like the 7 names on the map that I did before I showed it to you.
All right, so we need a name for this wonderful little clockwork city here.
If we don't take TBG's name, I would say just go.
What about
Arcanum?
Arcanium?
I was gonna go.
I.
We just steal from an existing name that has clockwork stuff and just call it Mechanus.
Oh, I do not have. Is there no text in here?
Text and where?
There should be.
Oh, here's text.
Roll 20.
All right, so I like Arcanum.
You mean Arcanium?
TBG's idea was Arcanum. I just tossed an I in it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Arcanum it is.
No, I don't want to do that. Oh, there's no way to bold that, is there?
The text features are kind of lacking.
So is that going to be the name of the actual capital or the like mini city that guards the gate?
I think this should be like the mini city that guards the gate. If I can find a correct color to go on this map that it's not going to like be missed.
I'm kind of keeping track of this on my own map in Paint as we go
Okay.
along too. So
All right. Well, if you've got it too, that's... I will defer to you then. And I will put that in the notes. That is Arcanum.
Have you guys ever seen The Labyrinth, Jim Henson's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Multiple
Yes.
times.
Okay, hear me out.
Duh.
Can we have a bog of eternal stench?
Seriously.
We actually can, because there's swamp
man.
on this map. I just don't remember which of these terrains is swamp.
Well, we can make any terrain swamp because it's open for interpretation. Alicorn, where were you thinking of a bog of eternal stench?
Looking at how this is covered in, this looks like it may have been swamp because it looks like a little
down
trees
here,
or, like,
that is farmland.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. If Fox doesn't remember where his swampland is, it would be in somewhere.
I have a shitty legend that I drew up. I just don't remember where I put it.
Matt, I don't think there's any dinosaurs.
Well, that's up to you guys if you want a dinosaur island or a dinosaur area.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
Why don't we say somewhere over here at the base of this mountain?
Where at?
Spire.
What
To
region?
the west. The west region that was going to be Cholt.
Over by the spire.
Oh, the spire?
Yeah,
Okay.
South in this little shaded area here. Like just at the base of the mountain is,
All right.
is swamp marshland.
And
Yeah,
do you want it called the Bog of Eternal Stench, or?
What I can do there, because that would actually be a pretty massive bog, is I can reshape that bit of land that's there to move it more south or something, and I can put a little bit of bog right at like the base of the spire, which is like right in the center where all these peaks meet. And that way it can also act as kind of like a defensive moat for the spire as well. So I think we could do some really interesting stuff with that particular mountain and make it like a super dangerous area.
To avoid copyright, we could call it the Lake of Eternal Foulness.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that.
Or Marsh of Eternal Foulness.
Oh, there you go, Marsh. Eternal Foulness.
Yep.
Infinite foul.
The Rotten Vale. God damn it.
Rotten
I
Vale
don't
is
want,
a nice name.
Yeah, I don't want dinosaurs personally, but
Oh man, I
Well-
don't know. Rotten Vale.
I get enough dinosaurs on
Vales,
Sunday.
Vales aren't swamps. Vales are like
Caves?
like plains lands.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be like oh god, what's that haunted farmland area in WoW? It'd be like that area
Oh, yeah.
where all the wheat's like all bent over and horrified and whatnot, and
Right outside of Lordaeron.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that would technically be a Rotten Vale.
What is it? Duskvale or something?
So I haven't played WoW in forever.
I haven't played it.
Cornfield of Billy Boggins.
I think TBG got it as Plaguelands.
Yeah, the Plague Lands.
That too. That's the alternative name.
Yeah, Plaguelands would be a Rotten Vale.
Okay, so let's put it to a vote. Who wants dinosaurs?
Well, who wants dinosaurs in chat as well? If you want dinosaurs in the game, put a 1.
If you do not want dinosaurs in the game, put a 2.
Come on, dinosaurs.
If we want dinosaurs, I know the perfect place to put them.
No double voting, Matt. I see you.
Oh, come on. Oh, no.
Got my eyes on you, sir. Watching you.
43. Noah's winning. No.
I did the same thing Matt did.
It's 4v4.
Fox, you haven't voted yet.
I am exercising my right as a citizen to not vote.
Well, I'm exercising my right as the community manager for this channel to make you vote.
Then I'm overriding that as my right as the cartographer to not vote.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I could just say there are dinosaurs in the game.
I know. I mean, it's like DM's rule. So I mean,
I'm drooling
Doesn't mean you're going to come across them, but there are dinosaurs somewhere.
over the rainbow.
Okay.
No,
Whatever
no,
you
it's up in my
whatever
head.
you guys want to do. Since it is Ty, it would be Demon's choice.
Well, okay, so Ro, if you want to put dinosaurs in this world, I think a fantastic place to put them would be on Helios, because as per your lore for the area,
Oh, yeah.
kind of guarded by those minotaurs, and since it's protected land, you know, you wouldn't have people coming in and killing off the wildlife, which would allow those dinosaurs to thrive and continue living, whereas they wouldn't on the other territories.
All right. So Helios has dinosaurs.
All right.
Also, Helios is unique in the terrain that I mapped out on there. I didn't give it a name, but the idea that I kind of had for it was that the soil on Helios was like jet black. It's kind of a unique little feature that made it stand out and kind of create fairy tales about it.
All right. Is there anything? Are there any special properties to the black soil?
That is a question for the residents of Helios.
Okay. So that is a question for either chat or the DM, I guess.
Yep. I didn't think that far ahead.
An area where dragons could congregate.
There is one of those.
I have
and it's labeled too.
I have a feeling that would be probably Dragon's Head Island.
Yep.
There's no dragons on Dragon's Head Island.
It's just spiders.
I know it's like Greenland.
Yep.
It's like Greenland, but with dragons.
And Iceland.
And ice. I like it.
Well, I did mark that kind of entire southern area as tundra, so
Yeah.
there's technically ice.
Oh.
Where would a place be that's usually a little more heavy in forest, pretty dark, not necessarily spooky, but always dark and kind of gloomy looking?
Maybe like right there.
Yeah,
Well,
that's where I want to be from.
That
Oh crap, that's where I want to be from.
that big
Yeah,
center
well,
region.
no, it's like
I think I marked it out as too large on the map, but I pictured that as desert. But the type of place that you're talking about would be way up near the Frigid Crown at the top. That kind of long stretch with the two towns in it is all like deep woods, dark forest.
The
I like
Forbidden
that.
Forest.
are we gonna be neighbors, Zoro? I think we're gonna
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm going up north.
the spoopy forest is definitely large enough for neighbors favors.
for favors.
Yeah, it's a massive piece of land up there.
If that's the spoopy forest, that's definitely where I'm from.
We have to be on opposite sides, though. I'm
Okay,
basically
so
Well, I mean,
since
there are two towns.
since we got the neighbors up here, neighbors, what are the town names?
I'll let you pick first.
I don't know. Fellock.
Fellock.
It's because it sounds cool and edgy.
A lot.
And which one is Fellock?
Fellock, I think, would be better to have probably over in this town right here. A little closer to there.
All right. And what is in Fellock? Like, what is Fellock known for?
Fellock is it's a smaller town. Lots of trade. Lots of spoopy stories, so they usually don't venture out other than the roads that are marked. They are known for their vegetables. I don't know. If someone could come up with something better that they're known for, please help me out.
Oh yeah,
They
like
have bioluminescent carrots.
Maybe
Or they're famous for a festival. I don't know.
maybe the spiders that inhabit the area surrounding Fellock had their silk is prized. That goes with the dark and spoopy theme.
That's totally it. Yep.
does the town of Fellock have a leader?
Technically yes, but it's not someone as huge as like, oh, there's a mayor or anything like that. It's just like there is someone that's kind of in charge, but because it's such a small town, there's not like a lot of big political names there. So
kind of like maybe a village elder.
yeah, that's probably more proper. Yeah.
How do the residents of Fellock react to outsiders?
Because they do a lot of trade, they're actually okay to a certain extent. There are probably a handful of races they're not either going to welcome or be wary of, but for the most part, they're pretty open because of trade.
Maybe they don't like random adventurers though. If they have nothing to trade, if they're just kind of dicking around and show up one day for no reason.
I feel like they'd be okay. Like they don't mind travelers, but they would kind of.
They may be a little wary of them.
Yeah, like they're totally fine saying like, "Hey, if you want to stay at our tavern, that's cool. You want to stay at our inn, that's cool." But they're just like, they're not on a super friendly basis with you.
Okay. Does the village elder have a name? Make sure there's a major black market town.
Petroff.
Petroff?
Mm-hmm.
And what is Petroff? What race?
I'm gonna make him an elderly elf.
Okay. So we have Fellock. Neighbor, friendo, Azarin. What's your town's name?
Our town's name is Charlefer Dorcha.
Okay, you're gonna have to spell that for me.
Type it in chat.
Yeah, type it in chat. Yeah, Roller, I was getting that idea from it as well.
Capital C, capital D.
Sounds Dutch.
It's Irish, kind of, sorta.
Does it mean kind of, sorta?
Irish Dutch.
It means dark city, but I'm playing with the phonetics.
Okay. All right, and tell me a little bit about your city or your town.
Our town is inhabited by one of the few dark elven races that are land dwellers.
Inhabited by what?
Dark elves.
All right, and what drives them to call this town their home?
There's a strong connection to the shadow plane in the area there. There's actually a major ley line and shadow road that crosses the town.
So you have a crossroads there.
Yes. And the dark elves that initially moved to that area were pulled by the very strong magical vortex that's in the area.
All right. Does this town have any ruling power, or how are things decided over there?
It is it's feudal. So there is a ruling family.
All right, and who is that family?
Let's see. We shall call them. Let's see. Their clan Sarek. Spelled like this. So basically imagine that they're dark elves, but they're Gaelic.
Okay.
So instead of the typical like, you know, super white silvery hair that most dark elves are known for, they have their hairs are varying shades of reds and purples.
I'm shaking my head a little bit because now I'm going to have to learn how to do a Gaelic accent.
Yeah, and I'm looking at two
Hi,
foxes.
diddly-dee.
I had to do it for Brian and Dream Daddy. I believe in you.
Oh,
Or Dream Daddy.
Does anybody else have two foxes?
huh?
I see two foxes
What are you
that
talking?
are on something else.
I only
Huh?
see one fox.
Where are
Yeah,
you
there's
looking?
one fox. Nowhere.
No.
Am I not seeing the same thing you guys are seeing?
Is he
Nope.
frozen again?
I think I'm drunk. Anyway, let's go. Let's
Oh no, I see. I see what you're saying. Yeah, he froze and then died on camera.
Yeah, Zoom shit the bed on me.
Oh,
Why were you shushing us then?
Yeah, why?
I think
Because
he
I was
wanted.
trying to fix it without bringing any attention to it.
Oh.
I think he was I thought he was trying to like spoof me, and I was just gonna. We were gonna hear him talk, but we weren't gonna see him actually move.
And my camera colors are all out of whack.
Good job, folks.
Well, that's why I mentioned it, because I noticed on the stream like you were frozen, but on Zoom you were moving and you looked different.
That's why I thought he was playing a trick or something. I was like, oh, yeah, no, I'll totally play it off. This is good. Okay.
Nope, I'm drunk. I didn't see anything. No idea what I'm talking about. It's fun. This is fine. And also, I just want to point this out before we continue on. I have to be engaged to somebody from one of these capitals.
Okay.
Wait,
That fox kills.
I thought you meant one of us. And I was like, well,
Mm-mm.
you have to buy me dinner first.
Yeah. So the capital in the northern land is right here. That little star, that the star signifies the capital.
I imagine either that one or the one by the spire, since they're neighboring to my kingdom, I would be.
Do you really want to get engaged to the guy that's near the Lake of Eternal Foulness?
And the
No,
dinosaurs.
it's okay. He's dead. So.
Oh, okay, it's cool.
It's fine.
Cool.
Yeah, no, that's
Cool.
part of the backstory. Fox is hired to kill.
Just a random idea about a small city area where ASMR and tieflings coexists. Ooh.
I like that.
Oh,
That'd be a little interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, where
Maybe-
is it?
It's not unheard of, but
Maybe there's something in the soil that kind of like gives them that feel good, kind of like catnip. So they're all just a bunch of hippies.
Like a bunch of hippie ASMR and tieflings just hanging out with one another.
Yeah, so they love each other and they're just like, everything's cool here, man. Just have some of this tea. This tea is great. And then maybe like it would end up being one of those situations where you have to roll against it, or the tea basically just makes you like, yeah, I want to live.
No dying.
Okay.
Are we talking like the ambrosia from Percy and the lightning thief type of craziness?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so where would this this utopia be at?
Maybe on the northern island of the Spire? Because or in the Far Reach. I don't know what you had plans for with the land there, though.
I don't have any plans for anything that anything that's not set in stone that hasn't already been marked on the southern continent.
Okay.
So, like the Far Reach and everything like that is still up for grabs.
Well, since it's so far away from words are hard for me today for some reason. Is that an island where it says Lost Ocean?
Yes. And if nobody touches it, I actually have an idea for that entire island.
Because I'm thinking with something that paradisey, it should probably be a little bit out of reach.
What about like something up here, or somewhere around the Shattered Coast?
Like right here?
Yes.
I don't know if a utopia would be that close to a steampunk city, though.
I think maybe something like the Far Reach, because if there's like some weird psychoactive drug or plant or something that's affecting them and making them like, all lovey-dovey hippie, that sounds like something that may be in...
Maybe like down here in the far corner.
Yeah. Like it could definitely be down there.
And like if you're anywhere up here, people are just like, yeah, don't go down there. That's bad news bears. You don't,
Those people are
come
weird.
back.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Cats and dogs living together, total anarchy.
So what I will do then...
Dude, I'm a boss. We haven't started on character creation right now. We're world building. So feel free if you have any ideas, toss them in there because we still got a lot of ground to cover.
That's my crappy circle,
So
because I
what
free-handed it.
What should we call this awkward utopia? Matt, this was your idea starting out. So what would you suggest?
Urktopia.
Oh right.
Oh right, I did come up with this.
Yep.
Well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say this was your idea. We're just kind of molding it into something that's probably gonna screw us later. So.
So
I already have ideas.
With a name, what kind of terrain or like biome is this area?
Oh, I think if it's like some psychoactive herb or something like that, or even a plant, maybe the terrain down over by here, like this stuff.
Dude, it's got to be like the poppy fields in Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I was thinking like poppy fields or like something like a temperate jungle.
Imagine if you burn all
Something
that.
where the trees are so thick on top that it's almost like going into like a woodsy cave.
Yeah, it's just like a dense jungle area.
Oh, the kind of trees that kind of curl and bend like this and almost make like an archway.
Yeah,
Where you don't really ever see the sun. It's always nice and dark, and they've got like fireflies to look at while they're tripping on this tea.
It's peyote.
Why can't I be the princess of that land?
the drug helps quell the small influence of the tieflings in the ASMR's history, and for normal people. So it makes it makes everybody all friendly. It's bliss.
Yeah,
Sorry, I've been playing far too much Far Cry 5.
that makes sense. So basically, they're all friendly towards each other, and they don't see any reason to ever leave because this is perfect.
Do you have a name for this settlement, Matt?
I have something. If we didn't have this last game,
Yeah.
if possible, if it's not big, can we have like a small version of Tarask?
So you want Snorlax?
Yes.
You want Velociraptors, which is basically baby T-Rexes.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
want a small version of a Tarask.
the only reason why I don't include a Tarask in my games is because the Tarask is like the deck of many things.
You have to
you
kill
put-
it with a wish.
You
It's
put it in
horrible.
there to just kill everything and ruin a campaign.
Well,
Just call
it
done.
doesn't have to be like a powerful one. It could just be like a small baby version.
So like it's sort of a
Like premature before it gets super powerful.
But never grows up.
There's a Tarask chained to the bottom of the deepest ocean floor. You're welcome to go after it.
Challenge accepted.
maybe a play on words of Nephilim.
Phlegm.
That doesn't sound like paradise.
Maybe not.
Nephalis.
Nephalis, I like that.
Nephalis is cool. All right. So got the text.
And what do you say we make it so that you basically can't reach it from the water because the jungle is too dense or the forest is too dense? You have to come through that little land bridge.
That's
there.
the only way in.
Yeah.
Or maybe the cliff face is too high.
Or like there's a barrier around the outside in a way. Like that's stopping people from going in.
Or it's up high on a cliff with, forest that you can't get through.
Okay. Kind of like
Super extra if you come here, you're not getting out unless you go out one way.
up on a mountaintop in a way.
No, I wouldn't say mountain. Probably just a nice cliff.
Okay.
All right, so we got Nephalis. I didn't want to post a link. I wanted to just get things set up for it. There we go.
Fox, where are you from?
I am, as usual, this is going to be slightly kind of like a cop-out answer because that's just how I live my life. I am from a nomadic tribe of gnolls, one of many that roam the desert areas.
So
I'm not really from a town or a city or anything like that.
so like areas in here.
Yep.
Okay, well, you get to name one of these two little things and tell us about it then.
I would
Well,
say I would say the one in the center of the desert.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I can do that just like not off the top of my head right now.
Well, I have a question. Is the Knoll tribe yeah, I can word, is the Knoll tribe named after something? Because you're barbarians, like like traditional in D&D. Is it like or do Knolls have separate names for their tribes?
Knolls don't really care enough, unfortunately, to name things unless it's themselves.
So
And
basically, your clan meh.
Pretty much, and it's just the tribes are more just like a handful of gnolls, and anytime the tribes meet each other, they switch a few gnolls around and then continue on their paths. So it's never really a static thing.
I have a suggestion for the desert town or city or whatever it is.
Okay.
All right, it's the town of Dagger Tree because cactuses are pokey trees, dagger trees.
Yeah, that works.
The town of Dagger Tree.
Yep. Dagger Tree.
That does actually, if that area is mainly populated by gnolls and other beast races, then that actually kind of fits too, because those races rarely tend to put that much stake in naming things.
Mm-hmm.
So something simple and straightforward is pretty fitting.
Oh,
So-
that tree stabbed like dagger.
So
Dagger.
what goes on a daily basis over in Dagger Tree?
I don't know, Fox. What goes on a daily basis? I named it for you. Okay, I got that part.
And Sandmouth.
So, you obviously can't live in a desert without a source of water. So Dagger Tree is probably the only oasis in that northern desert. And it's less of a established town and more of, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Watering hole?
Yeah, it's more of a pit stop. As various tribes move throughout the desert, they stop in that town, they get some water, they do some trading with other tribes or other individuals that happen to be in the area, and then they go on their way. There's maybe some stalls and stuff set up, but there's no established government or anything. It's just unspoken rules of you mess with people in this place and everybody is going to kill you.
So
and then probably eat you.
It's it's pretty much like the safe port in the desert.
Yeah. Shifty stuff does go on there, but nothing public.
Regro had the idea of it being kind of like a tent city, so it would move around.
Yeah.
They would dig a new well or something every week or two, which would pretty much be a roll of the dice if we're trying to go through the desert, if we actually find it or not.
Okay, so it is a tent city.
Yeah, that seems fitting.
And then if you wanted to, you can pick different areas in the desert where you would move it weekly or bi-weekly or whatever.
I can actually add a map,
The way
a little map within the desert, and plot
Yeah.
the points on it where the
'Cause
town moves.
the way that I was excuse me, the way that I was thinking it was that while Dagger Tree tends to move around the desert in search for water, whoever the cartographer was at the time who was plotting this, that was where Dagger Tree was at the time.
Yeah, that works. And actually, if it's a tent city or tent town that moves around digging wells for water, then they could have an actual proper established path where they are at point X for 3 weeks. And during that time, the well at point Y has refilled. So then they go to Y, they stay there, then they move to Z, and et cetera, et cetera.
So they have like a rotation pattern that they follow.
Yeah, and it's probably something that's only known to people that were part of the tribes or lived in the area for a while, kind of which well they're going to be at approximately what times.
I like Dude, I'm a Boss's suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
A monarchy ruled by an elvish family, the king is said to be over 2,000 years old. They dislike dwarves, half-orcs, and dragonborns. They are known as a military power because of the gnome mages that they have been protecting the city for years. They do very few trade. They are very self-sufficient. They buy slaves of races besides elves and gnomes.
I want to be engaged to the son of that guy.
Okay, well then that means
That Fox murdered him.
that it would either be here near the spire or up in the northern lands.
I think right there with the spire would be good, considering that they keep to themselves and they're self-sufficient. They don't do much trade and they keep slaves. So I think they'd be well suited to be by the Marsh of Eternal Foulness.
And it also adds to the mystery of the spire itself.
Yeah, maybe in the spire itself could be like, what is that city name from Lord of the Rings, the dwarven one that they had to go to?
Isengard? Oh.
No,
Lonely
that's
Mountain.
Isengard was the
no, it's the one.
was the man city.
It's
Yeah,
the one where
that's
Beardbro had to fight the Balrog.
Oh,
But you guys know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Moria.
I know
the,
this.
the
Moria.
Mines of Moria.
Yeah.
So it could be kind of like that inside the Spire, and that's one of the ways that they remain self-sufficient and how they stayed so protected.
The spire can also, like, due to the magical power of the spire, it could be like a massive ley line. And that's how the gnomes are able to draw off of the magic to protect the city. I like it. I was wondering where the elf kingdom was going to be.
Well, because it ties back into the character creation, but it also has a lot to do with like my land. But my father and I are basically present ourselves in public as elves, so that would make a lot of sense for us to be, betrothed.
Yeah. Also, you guys don't have to worry about naming everything on the map, city-wise.
That'll take way too long.
I can take care of that in my off time. If there are any locations that you want to name city-wise, feel free about it. If you want to add points of interest, like points of like rumors or mythology or whatnot, like in other places of the map, you can do that as well.
Oh, Rojin, one thing that I do want to point out
Mhm.
is on my quest, I'm looking for a tiara, which is basically going to prove that I'm worthy to be a queen without getting married. And if anybody has ideas for where that should be put, whisper
it.
Rojin. You already know where you want to put it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Never mind then. Should we take our first break though?
Oh, that probably could be a thing. So yeah, guys, we are going to take our first break here. We're going to get up Central Lakes for about 5 minutes, and we come back. We are going to do more world creation. Thank you so much for you guys, for everything that you guys have already suggested. If there is anything else that you want to add, points of interest, mythical items, mythical creatures, whatever, just throw your ideas in the chat, and like they will appear somewhere. But we're going to take a quick 5-minute break for now. We will see you guys when we get back.
Until we were just dust and remains. As you descended on them, you carry their memories of endless pain. As
Cheeseburger the owlbear.
All right, we're back. I'm sorry, I heard that. Cheeseburger the owlbear is now in the game. I'm sorry.
Okay, deal.
Oh, God, yeah.
Deal. Yes.
I'm sorry. Cheeseburger was my favorite animal in Far Cry.
All right, we are going to put it, and I know where to put him at.
So there were some things that I saw.
P-Wog, dude, what's with the tree? Seriously, bro? Seriously, dude? Wow,
So-
man.
While we are on break, I saw some ideas from Matt talking about a legendary place that is buried where a legendary weapon belonging to a legendary paladin now rests. It starts as a sun sword and becomes a holy avenger or even a custom blade for later. Thank you for that, Matt. I'm already drawing up ideas for it. Doc talked about where a monastery specifically for beer domain clerics who befriended a water elemental that granted the founders magical water to make their brews superior to all others. And eventually,
Yes.
eventually the elemental formed with a large batch of beer and became Aberkin, the first beer elemental.
Yes.
That is in the Dwarven Kingdom.
Yes. That has to be canon.
That is canon. There is a beer cleric monastery in the Dwarven Kingdom. And then the Stone of Ted, where it was said before, great Ted the Barbarian King died, sealed his great strength in a stone. He wore it around his neck. His strength rivaled giants. I like it. So, write these down. Got those. All right, so we were talking about the Dwarven Kingdom. Even before we went on break, it popped up in chat again. So trying to zoom up without it being a pain in the butt. There we go. So you said that it's in the Golden Peaks, Fox?
The dwarves and just kind of like mining races in general, I figured they could be in any mountainous region, but like the main hub would be in the Drummond Mountains.
In the Drummond Mountain. Oh, okay.
Because I kind of specifically designed that area so that those mountains are blocking all land passage. So to get through there safely, you have to go through that city.
And is
There
that
are
what
other
this
mountain
city is
passes.
right here?
Yeah, there are other mountain passes, but they're not safe. So the city is there, and dwarves and goblins, if you wanted that, those kinds of races have
The
probably
subterranean races.
have tunneled through the mountains, probably to this side here, and also to this side up here.
And what is the town's name, or I should say the city's name?
That is a good question. I personally know like next to nothing about dwarven nomenclature.
Moria.
It doesn't have to be spelled exactly like it. Just call it Moria.
Not Moria.
Not Moria.
Morai.
Mead.
You can call it. It's a monastery, and they brew beer.
Well, there's a monastery in there where they brew beer.
Yeah, I'd imagine the city itself is like directly underneath the mountains, and it's just probably massive. Like this huge cavern that's either pre-existing or was carved out and the city constructed within it.
And it's like ever expanding. Hope there are illithids around. Do you know me?
I got one. How about this? Let's see.
The dwarves dug too deep.
Maybe its name is just way through the mountain, but it's a name translated in Dwarven.
How about that? Call it Kaskar.
Okay.
Because giant beer barrels are called casks.
So I like Doc's idea as well. So Kaskar, roughly translated, means way through the mountain.
Now I have the Song of Lonely Mountain in my head. Not a bad thing, but it's in my head now.
Bad day. Alrighty then.
All right.
So, I was thinking there should be a town where all the illegal things happen, like where you can hire assassins in the black markets and stuff like that.
Yep, I have it.
Right there.
It's called Godfrey's Crossing.
I was looking at that one right there.
Godfrey's Crossing literally sits on the border, like is built on the borderline of the central and southern kingdoms, and it's treated as a is like a popular trade town, but it seems to have a little bit of connections to the underworld as well.
Is that you?
But yeah, if you're looking for illegal stuff, Godfrey's Crossing is the place.
I like it.
Now, what
So-
is all this like over here?
Over where?
I was actually just about to touch on that.
Where on the map?
On the
It's-
very far western side, it kind of like breaks off.
southwestern.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
where pretty much everything ceases to exist.
Yeah, I deliberately put nothing there because I figured this town right here could be like the last stop of civilization. Anything beyond that is just wild lands, you're on your own, get fucked type of thing.
Sounds like RuneScape.
So it's all wildlands. It's not like a desert or harsh mountains.
That's kind of what I had in mind, but I mean it's open terrain. We can make it whatever we want to.
Okay. What would normally live there?
Well, that's up to you.
Oh well. I thought Fox had a plan.
Maybe the realm of monsters.
I was gonna say like massive, dangerous beasts. Could be interesting.
Where the home of the manticores are.
There could be manticores there.
Mm-hmm.
Giant squids. Land squids.
Land squids. Oh, cuttlefish.
Fishy.
That sounds good. Monster territory.
Kind of like if you go left instead of right on the Albed Island in Final Fantasy X.
And you're screwed. All right, so like the area over there is just nothing but open wilderness where people can go to try to hunt large creatures.
Only the
Yep.
most hardy of adventurers dare trek there.
And the the creatures themselves could have super valuable resources on them and in them type of thing, which would entice people to go in there and get themselves torn apart.
I love how we're just making that one little section like the country of Nope. The Marsh of Eternal Faunus, the elf people who like to take slaves.
And Rojan will find a unavoidable way for us to have to go there.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. I already have that idea.
God damn it. Someone is sold as a sex slave.
Nah, we want to do that.
Oh, okay, good.
Nah, I don't do that in my
I
games.
volunteer as tribute. I mean,
I
wrong.
Am I not surprised?
Wrong.
Shame. Ding.
No,
Shame.
it was something that was said earlier, and it gave me an idea. And yeah, there may be an unavoidable reason why you would head there. But this the city that stands as the last bastion of humanity, or this little town right here, what's its name?
The town of no return.
So cliche.
I was
love
gonna
it.
say the town of Get Fucked, but you know,
What about ends meet?
Ooh,
I like it. Catchy. And meaty.
Poor Schlub named it. It's great. I love it.
come on. There. So that is on the Western Realm.
so one other area that I kind of wanted to touch on because I thought the aesthetic of it anyway would be kind of neat, is the area right above the gloomy, depressed elf forest in the north, the Frigid Crown area.
Mm-hmm.
That area directly north of it is just like pure ice, and I was kind of thinking it could be like an ice spire forest. So instead of trees, it's just massive spires of ice that litter the entire area.
Mm.
There's like a nomad tribe in there.
Yeah, there absolutely could be.
You know,
Maybe an ice city.
kind of like
We sorry, Izzy, we've been going for about an hour and a half now. All right, does this ice spire forest have a name? Or what is it known by to the people near the Frigid Crown? Or is that the Frigid Crown?
I
think it's appropriate if it's just the Frigid Crown.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think in my initial kind of scribbles on the map, I had written that particular area down as the Frigid Crown, and then just expanded it to that whole northern area.
I imagine maybe it wasn't named anything else particularly because it's not super habitable.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody took the time to really name it anything else. So it's like the name of the area and the name of the top of the continent. Kind of like Antarctica if it didn't have like any other city.
It's pretty much like where No Man's Land down in the Southwest. This is another place where only the truly insane adventurers go into for pretty much bragging rights.
Yeah, it's like what's it called in Faerun? The Spine of the World, I think, is like that huge mountainous area in the northwest.
Northwestern area where the towns are.
It's just like one singular name for this just massive part of the land that nobody ever really wants to go to.
But again, there's probably things inside of there, like just that have been built up off of legends and stories that pass down from people who have claimed to set foot in the Frigid Crown.
Yep.
That leads the some foolhardy adventurer trying to seek fame and fortune to go into there.
I volunteer.
Can we have a Tortuga but name it Tortiga? And one of these little islands just hanging off out in the water.
There's nothing on there, it's just named. Like this island right here. Over by Hellions Gate. It's just called Tortiga, but nobody knows what goes on there. Somebody sailing by one day was like, "Oh yeah, there's Tortiga." Nobody's
Wow, someone
nobody
just killed him.
nobody's bothered to investigate it.
Well, yeah, it's named. Somebody's already been there. Let's just not bother.
Yeah.
and he never.
There's
returned.
probably a sign that's put like driven into the ground that says "Welcome to Tortiga,"
or
so nobody
nothing.
goes there. It's nothing but like dodo birds or something that just or pelicans that live on this island. It's a named island of pelicans.
Maybe the Pelicans named it.
They're talking.
Or so the legend says.
Little does anybody know they're like highly intelligent magical pelicans.
Just throw that in there.
You just
Talking
go to
over
the mainland, and they're just like, "Hey, you should come to Torgita. Just have a good time. All right, peace out."
Yeah,
Like,
sentient pelican race.
I just imagine pelicans now with monocles reading the paper about wars going on between like, the continents around them. And they're just like, oh, everything is fine here on Tortiga.
One of them in the back just kind of mumbles, "Savages."
They have like a prim and proper British accent. All of them are walking around with like monocles, top hats, and canes.
Yep. We need Tortiga right next to the dinosaur island.
Now I'm thinking of like the owners of the newspaper company in One Piece, where it's just these big birds with like again monocles, top hats, and everything, and they're just like, "Well, fancy that."
I say, old boy. Ooh, okay. Now that I'm not dying.
All right, so Tortiga is a place.
Fantastic. I can't wait to not go there.
You make it sound like you won't go there.
Oh, we're totally going there.
All right. You know we're totally going there.
So I have a place
Okay.
that I'd like to throw down. My race kind of defected from its group in a way, so if you want to put anything for the rat folk, feel free. But the place.
Or you could be a rat person.
Yeah, I'm going to be a rat person.
Nice.
Yep. And
Where's your rat person going to be from?
my rat person, since everyone went on their little break, if you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, it's going to be like a Pirates Cove, like island area. Kind of like where, bustling ships, pirates.
Like over here.
It's actually H.P. Fox mentioned. It's going to be like somewhere like in the ocean, but only they know where it's from.
Is it like a flotilla?
Yes. Just think of like the Pirates movie. It's just like huge shipwrecks all together at one.
So it's like it's in Moana. It's like
I was just gonna say Cucamongas.
the big giant coconut
Kakamora,
barge.
whatever they're called.
Yeah, those guys.
Kakamoras.
The
So-
Kakamoras.
So your people are literally like a Skaven flotilla just going about the ocean. Or
Not
is it they're more situated in a ship graveyard?
It's like a ship grave, it's like a town, like a huge town. Like I'm talking about like
It's literally made of like shipwrecks.
yes, like from last season, Hammer's Reach
it's
was
like in WoW. What's that stupid town where like all the down? God, what's that? The town where you meet the stupid goblin guy for the first time. That where it's all goblins and it's like all shipwrecks and stuff.
It's in Stranglethorn Vale, right?
Yeah, so
Like
this-
TB said, like Minx of One Piece.
yes.
I was just thinking.
Okay.
So many One Piece ideas.
And of course, there is going to be a pirate king.
All right, so that's not the color I wanted.
The town is Booty Bay.
Ah.
No, I do have a name for it.
What is the name?
The name is Port Aurum, and spell that is. I believe that's the correct spelling. Yeah.
All right, and you said it's Pirate King and everything.
Yes, it has a pirate king, and like I mentioned before, I was conflicted between two things. One was either a minotaur that kind of goes back to season one, or
Well,
or
the Minotaur are natural sailors.
that's true, or what you kind of walked in on was a sentient owlbear that knows common, and his name is Cheeseburger.
Okay, Captain Cheeseburger.
Captain Cheeseburger.
All right, so Captain Cheeseburger is the pirate king.
Yep.
Plot twist: the pirate captain is Cassius.
Again, like no one knows this except for them themselves. Even if someone from Outland tries to go there, they can't find it. They need help.
There's like whispers of the pirate king, and everybody talking about how he's built. He's just like this massive man that's built like an owlbear, and in all honesty, he's literally just an owlbear.
Yeah, he's an owlbear.
It's
You know,
a giant
he's stood
chicken,
up.
Antonia. It's a giant chicken.
All right, so the pirate king is Captain Cheeseburger.
An owlbear, like from the Croods?
No, like a literal D&D owlbear.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's a
my
straight up
first thought was
pirate.
the
Got an
Croods.
eye patch, everything. You know, and people make fun of him because of his name, and he just freaking kills them. Like, don't make fun of my name.
It's a giant crit chicken.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that name for owlbears, crit chickens.
Oh my god.
His ability is crit chicken.
An owl. Bear.
So we've all kind of touched on where we're from,
Yeah,
except for
Alicorn.
Alicorn. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about Tharia.
It's basically Rivendell.
Yeah. Okay, I can't just put in the description on my sheet. It's basically Rivendell.
Yep.
Little side note in the margin on the map. This place.
Please, please, of Tolkien's estate, do not sue my pants off. What is the capital city known as?
I wasn't even thinking about that because I was just thinking about Tharia just being Tharia.
So the capital city is called Tharia.
It could be the capital city named after the island itself. I mean, there are plenty of instances of that in the real world because we're so original.
Well, that is true, and it's basically, you know, it was a tiny kingdom compared to all the other ones. Let's see. Because of my character's background and what I want to do with her, I imagine that Tharia would be very woodsy. Like pretty much any stereotype you can think of that comes from elves and such, that would be it. Like very woodsy, nature driven, lush green. Everybody pretty much coexists and they're all happy. The current ruler is a very nice guy. He makes sure everybody's taken care of. His wife's a bitch and his stepson's a douche.
Wife
Since-
is bitch, stepson is douche. Got it.
Since the capital is like right on that river there, we could like directly steal from Tolkien and say just like this massive, gorgeous waterfall runs through the city.
Yeah.
Huge tracts of land.
And now we're getting in the Monty Python.
Tis but a scratch.
Your
would
arm's
be-
off.
That would be very, very
Not a
nice.
flesh wound.
The keyboard is me.
Yep, the keyboard is Virgin typing down all our ideas and stuff and descriptions. But the king is well loved. After his wife died, he remarried for political reasons. And his wife and his son are both basically trying to overthrow him and my character. Because basically that would mean that they get Tharia to themselves. It's basically an all is welcome, kind of overly friendly kingdom.
So not really. It's not like the drug den that the ASMR and the tieflings live at, where everyone is welcome. This is more they're just accepting of other cultures.
Right. It's basically paradise in another sense of the word.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You don't get high to have a good time in Tharia. You just
Never split the
generally-
party. I just saw like in chat that Never Split the Party has rated us.
Oh, nice.
Raiders, welcome on in. I don't know
Welcome.
why. I don't know why our notifications are not popping up.
I didn't even see the notification in chat. Thanks, Twitch.
Yeah, so let's get some love for Never Split the Party.
Yep. We're doing some world building, so if you have some ideas, definitely toss them in the chat.
And this is just, again, this is going on par with us. Like every time we stream, something breaks.
Yep. Sounds about right.
I'm looking at you, Twitch.
That's
So we've got a good portion of things plotted out. We got places where everybody is from. Created some willy-nilly stuff, like the drug den. I'm just gonna refer to it as a drug den over in the southeast, where ASMR and tieflings coexist with one another due to the heavy influence of some sort of plant that's in like the thick jungle that they live in. And most people try to keep themselves away from there because even to like the most twisted of minds, these people are weird.
And I did have another idea for Tharia. Maybe making it kind of one of the reasons why such a small kingdom is still kind of standing on its own legs is because of the marriage for political reasons, and also because it's inhabited by fae creatures.
It's inhabited by fae?
Yeah, because I got on suggestion of chaos, up is down, inside is outside, whatever kind of thing. Like people who go to Tharia who aren't originally from there can get turned around really easily. So like the city itself is very welcoming, but the surrounding
surrounding areas are pretty much a fae playground to pick on travelers.
Right.
Kind of like
and that kind of goes
Yeah,
with
kind of like Wonderland.
Yeah, it goes along with the fairy tale princess archetype.
Because you are a princess, can we please get like a theme song or something of your country or of just you? Make it very Disney-esque.
I got just the perfect
Well, okay, but the thing is keep in mind if we do that, we don't want to get sued. Because, like,
We have to make it up.
somebody would start playing a Disney song, and all of a sudden you would just see multiple red dot like sights from like Disney snipers zooming in on them.
Feria, Feria, the island of the fair.
Wow, what a nice parody.
Feria, ain't nothing getting.
I'm sure I can come up with something. It'll be a while, but I'll think of something.
Well, I think we got a good thing for world creation.
I like it.
So
little do we know, Mickey Mouse is
I
already
could
stomping his way towards.
so what do you say we get into some character creation?
Why don't we take an early break before we get delved into that? Because I know we're not going to want to take a break.
Okay.
We get rolling.
Let's do like a quick 2-minute break so people can get up and like pee and everything. And when we get back, we will start into character creation, and you guys will meet the players, not the players, but the characters for everybody for season 2. So stick with us, guys. We will be back in about like 2-3 minutes, real quick, like.
Kirby, right back at you.
Thursday.
Well, we are back.
Oh, you're right.
And all the cameras are working.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It's a
First
Christmas miracle.
Pre-Christmas miracle.
Merry Christmas.
It's a after Easter miracle.
All right.
Festivus miracle.
It's a Festivus miracle. So, we got the world partially created. We had your origin locations. But we don't know who or what you are. So, it's time to do a little bit of a character creation. And, like, everybody has talked to me about what they intend to play. So what I think we should do is let's roll up the stats first, so everyone can see it. And while we're rolling it up, you guys can give a little rundown on what you are looking to create. So, basic rolling rules here is going to be 46. You take the three highest numbers. You do this 7 times, and then you take the 6 highest. If you roll an 8 or lower, you are allowed to re-roll that score.
Look at that first roll from Zora.
God.
So in
First of all,
that case, Zoro would be able to re-roll that because that's a
So
4 or that's a 5.
Zora starts, and that way we're not like mixing up people's roles.
Yep. So
first things first, I'm changing that color because that is awfully close to the color pink, and that's a priorities, people.
So
Priorities.
I don't think anybody's taking a basic race this time.
That second roll, though.
Very nice. Nope, I don't think any of us are taking a basic race.
So, if I remember correctly, Zoro is going to be a Dampier.
Dampier fighter.
Groudon is going to be a rat person gunslinger. Fox is a Knoll rogue. Azarin is a Shadowfey ranger at the moment. Shadowfey warlock. And Alicorn is a changeling princess.
Nailed it, guys! I
These
nailed it.
rolls, though.
Jesus
I know,
Christ.
Right?
It's a good thing you're our tank.
Zoro's like, excuse me while I'm just OP.
And then when I get into battle, fail every single roll.
Yep.
To do anything.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Her 21, is she allowed to put a 21 into?
No.
Remember
You
to
take the
drop the
3
lowest.
highest. You drop the lowest one.
Oh,
So
okay.
that 21 is actually a 16.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yep, princess is a class. I'll go ahead and I'll post a
Yep.
thingy so you guys can actually look at it.
Princess is a class that I am allowing in this campaign. So Zoro, first off, holy shit.
I know, right?
So you've got a 17, a 13, a 12. Oh, I'm so, yeah, 12.
Technically, she has a 7, so that's another reroll.
And
Where are you guys looking?
The 9 is a 7.
yeah,
Yep.
Why is it
Because you're
making
dropping the lowest.
you're dropping the lowest number.
Oh,
You,
right.
you take the 3 highest numbers.
Yeah, right. Sorry. I was like, what? Right. Sorry, 17, 13, 12. I'm still writing them down, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
Jesus.
I know.
So Zoro, you want to tell us a little bit about your character?
What I'm willing to reveal, yeah.
Well,
Um,
I need to know. You didn't
Well,
really
yeah,
tell me
that's-
anything about your character.
uh,
All I know is like the last time we talked was she's gonna be a Dampier and she might be a fighter.
While she's going into details, I'm gonna start rolling.
Okay.
dice.
Yeah, go for it. So my character is a Dampier. I haven't quite nailed her age yet, but she's basically gonna be past the lifespan of her mother. So her mother has passed at this point. I mean, she died at a very old age, so happy life. She was very madly in love with her father. Her father, of course, is a vampire, and he's actually part of a very pristine, noble family. They're part of the Dolus and Mortes, very, very high-end family. The town of Fellock know of them, but they also know what they are, and they fear them. So their mansion is like way out in the woods, far, far away from town. They're almost at the cuff of like the forest and the frigid area, the frigid crown, which works for them because they like the cold. So it's all good. So she has a older brother who's also a Dampier, and her father is very very loving, which is abnormal for a vampire, but that's because vampires are very close to their own kind. So he kind of dotes on her a little bit, kind of treats her like a princess almost. Same thing with the son, gives him respect, but also he's kind of the heir to their house, so it's a little harder on him.
Is the brother a full-fledged vampire?
You know what he is? He is. So he has a lot more responsibilities on his shoulder. He is an older brother. Again, don't quite know the age yet, but he's got a good maybe 100 to 150 years on top of my character, whose name is Ashton. She goes by Ash, with very unique name spelling, so I'll have to spell that out later. So she's kind of I don't want to say innocent, but she's been sheltered. She grew up in her house. She kind of stays there. Gets along very well with her brother, but her brother's very overprotective of her. Extremely overprotective, to the point where it's kind of unhealthy and weird. But she gets to a certain age where she wants to kind of embrace her mother's side, her human side a little bit, and kind of goes and checks out the human town in Fellock. But of course, no one likes that. Everyone fears her. Everyone's angry with her. It gets to a certain point where they start hiring monster and vampire hunters to keep her out. And even though this kind of gives her a negative look on humans, she still wants to try. She's just upset that they're not giving her a chance. I'm thinking maybe at some point, maybe her brother just kind of like finds out that she's doing this and may have attempted to go on a rampage at one point on the town, but he was stopped by Daddy-O. So, because he doesn't mind humans. Obviously, he had a human wife, but he's just like, no, we need to coexist. I'm totally fine living by myself. Don't hurt humans, kind of thing. So yeah. So I guess the other thing I could tell you is that she, long story short, was accepted by one person that she found in the middle of the woods. And it was a half-orc hunter, where they quickly become friends and soon lovers, which brother was not too happy about that. So to start the adventure, she's basically looking for him because he suddenly disappeared.
Does Loverboy have a name?
Yes, Turok.
Like the dinosaur hunter?
Oh god, yeah.
Okay.
It sounded orky to me.
No, it sounds very orky.
Turokk, Turok. And he's a hunter, and because he's kind of been shunned as well for his race, he's just kind of, that's why he like accepts her so quickly, and he's just like, why should I be afraid of you? Whatever, kind of attitude. But backtracking a little bit, she did grow up in a very pristine family, so because of that, she is very intelligent. She knows about politics. She was trained by her father as well as some hired guards to teach her how to fight, which is how she knows how to dual wield as a battle master.
All right. Also, Alicorn.
That was much longer than I intended. Sorry.
Alicorn, what the hell? Those rolls.
Yep. Pretty bad. I'm happy I have a bonus to charisma and +1 to dexterity.
So, Alicorn, Since
Yep.
you are next on the rolling list, let's hear about your princess.
My princess has a very interesting story, and I'll tell you why.
What is her name, by the way?
I'm going to post this in chat so it's a little bit easier. Her name is Lysandria, and
Okay,
I channeled my inner Fox.
Fox has rubbed off on you.
Yep.
I'm just gonna
I
put
know.
your name as Lysandra.
Lysandria. So there's that. So basically, my princess is a changeling. Her father is also a changeling. I already kind of dipped into the whole stepbrother thing. So basically, she was engaged to Dude Bro down in Kamaraska by the Spire, to that prince there. And the evil stepbrother was like, no, that's not cool. I don't want her to marry this person and unite the kingdoms because I want to be the king. So he hired an assassin. Spoiler, it was Fox, to kill the prince, which he succeeded in doing. But after that, Lysandria was then engaged to her stepbrother. And so he offered Fox's character money to assassinate me. So when he came to assassinate me, I was like, well, I'll pay you double or your double your weight in gold if instead you assist my handmaiden on a quest to find this special item, which would basically make me queen without having to marry any bitches. So that's a thing. And because I am a changeling, I'm going to be traveling with the party as my handmaiden, who is a tabaxi, and her name is Lily. And nobody shall know that I am actually the princess, but me and Daddy-O, because the entire kingdom is under the impression we are elves. Nobody, except for the closest members of the royal family, know that we are changelings. And I also am cursed, so that if I am ever in view of moonlight, I will be shown for my true form. That's one of the things that goes along with the fairy tale princess archetype. So basically, traveling as a tabaxi, if the moonlight hits me, it'll basically show me as my changeling form. So we're tracking this. Yes, it was either that or be really prone to being put to sleep, or a couple of other silly fairy tale things, and that was the most pleasant alternative. So going on that quest, and the handmaiden Lily that I'm going to be traveling with will take my place, so to speak, as the princess, because she is actually my cousin who is also a changeling. So it'll appear that I am still in court while I'm on this quest. And I think that's about it, in case anybody has questions.
Anyone have any questions?
Does she prefer pie or cake for the wedding? There's only one right answer.
The answer is yes.
The answer is cupcakes.
I don't like pie.
That was the wrong answer.
I don't like pastries and fruit. I like them separately, but not together. Like if it's like a
pie for you.
Oh hell no! Pumpkin pie is nasty.
Basic white bitch.
I don't like pumpkin.
I'm right there with you, Zora.
I don't do pumpkin flavored anything. I hate pumpkin.
Pumpkin spice lattes are amazing.
Oh my god, yes.
I like pumpkin seeds, and that's it because they don't taste like pumpkin.
Fox,
That is me.
Best friends.
what's your character's name?
He doesn't have one yet, and I promise it's not going to be something long and complicated because
Well, I would
that's
hope
just-
not. He's a kobold, or he's a
Yeah,
knoll.
It's not how gnolls roll, unfortunately. I'm sure I could find a reason to make it long and complicated, but I won't. I promise. Maybe. So you kind of heard a fair portion of my backstory, kind of intertwined with Alucorn's, as far as the whole assassination part goes. But prior to really kind of taking on that job and getting caught in that whole drama, he was part of the tribes in the desert area, and eventually just kind of got sick of that way of life. So he left and he traveled around. He was bodyguard for merchants at one point. He was a simple trader at another point, until he eventually came to Port Mino, I think is how it's pronounced.
Yep, Port Mino.
And he kind of fell into an assassination contract. It was just a minor one, over some squabble that two guys had at a bar one night. But he was in the right place at the right time, if you want to look at it that way. And he took the job, and he found he was actually quite good at it. And he could make decent money, so he pursued it, kind of using that place as his hub for taking jobs and making a name for himself before kind of expanding to different territories and just kind of going where the work was, so to speak, and taking on eventually this job to take out a royal, which he figured sounded really intriguing because it was in such stark contrast from the nomadic life of living in the desert. It was something he had never really dreamed was in his future. So he jumped on it. And I mean, you kind of heard the rest of the story up to this point of what he's been doing.
So now he's now traveling with Alicorn.
With her quote unquote handmaiden.
Let me stop you there for just a moment. Video Store Cowboy, thank you for that raid. Raiders, welcome on in. If you have hearts, show them up throw them in the chat for Video Store Cowboy. We are doing world creation and character creation currently for our Season 2 campaign, which is looking to start next week.
Also, Rojan, did you assign Zoro a character sheet?
Thank you.
You know what? I have a character sheet with the name Zoro on it, but I didn't assign it to her. Professional DM.
First time streaming. So good.
So I think
There you go, Zoro.
a lot of people on this channel are kind of familiar with the way I play characters, which is I kind of go in with a rough idea, and their background and their personality really start to expand as I play. So you'll see him kind of grow into himself during the game. But there are two really kind of unique things about him that are taken directly from the Knoll race. One is that he's like really heavy into alchemy and using that both in and out of combat to heal and hinder. So you'll be seeing a lot of that. And one of the other things that I haven't mentioned to you, Ro, and I'm hoping you don't reject it. Gnolls are especially good at getting a feeling for their surroundings and movement and stuff around them just on hearing and scent alone. So my Gnoll is going to be blind.
Okay.
He was blinded at some point during one of his jobs, and he's kind of learned to adapt to that using those kind of heightened senses that Gnolls have. We can go over the details of that later, like how that affects blinding spells and how it affects like audio spells and stuff like that for him. But I have
an idea for it. I'll let you run with it.
Yeah, I thought that would be a really interesting trait for an assassin, of all things, to have.
Mm-hmm.
And that also means he can't visually measure any of his alchemical ingredients. So what he does is uses his finger and he dips his finger into each
Vial.
whatever it happens to be that he's using, and he actually tastes it. So that can be really good for him sometimes and really, really bad for him.
I'm thinking that finger of his is now like devoid of fur.
Yeah,
Just from all the alchemy components that he's like dipped his finger in, just
it's
throughout the
probably-
time, it's just now like this smooth finger.
It probably is. And he probably has like next to no feeling left in it, and he probably can't taste very many things anymore either.
Okay. I will write that down. He is blind.
Interesting.
One question for you is, since he is a assassin, does he work with any sort of contracting guild, or is he just somebody who's like a knife for hire?
He's essentially a knife for hire. He started out as just some street guy nobody cares about down in the port, but over time he's started to make a name for himself, and he doesn't put his name itself out there, but it's not unknown that he was the one that assassinated that prince.
Okay. So he doesn't put his name out there, but just the method that he did it is sort of known.
Yep.
Okay. I can definitely work with that. Let's see. Azarin.
What?
I've been looking forward to this one.
I know nothing. I say nothing.
Well, I hope not. I hope you know something. First off, what is your character's name?
My character's name is Roshin Dub. She goes outside of the Shadow Fae by.
Can you spell her name in chat?
She goes by Rosaline.
Okay.
So she doesn't use what she goes by in the Fae outside the Fae.
And she is a Shadow Fae?
Yes, Shadow Fae. She's 5'2". Shadow Fae have centaur horns, kind of, sorta. So she has horns. She doesn't usually let them show, as she keeps herself hooded. She wears black and leather armor. She casts spells, but she fights with a longbow. Anyone who sees her longbow, or actually has the misfortune of seeing her longbow, it is pitch black. Basically, it looks like looking into the void. The details you can make out of it, it looks like there's winding rose thorns along the entire bow itself. For those she especially doesn't like, when she fires an arrow, it becomes black and inky, and they take necrotic damage. That's just for those she finds distasteful. Outside of party knowledge, she was raised by darklings. So she's 120 years old, so she spent the majority of her life in the Shadow Fae, being raised by darklings under the tutelage of all manner of what outsiders would consider vile and grotesque Shadow Fae beings. She finds them to be, of no consequence. They're like puppy dogs to her. She herself is not evil. But she doesn't mind being around evil beings. As far as she's concerned, as long as you're not doing anything to affect anything that's gonna be a detriment to her, she doesn't really care what you do. So that's her deal in that respect. For those that catch a glimpse of it, she has a very ornate bracelet on her right hand. And it looks like a blackened rose with like copper thorns wrapped around her wrist. And there is the rose is actually, for anyone that is able to get close enough to it, is actually a cut rose. And that is her arcane focus.
Because she is a warlock, right?
Yes.
How does she feel? How does she feel towards things that would be natural enemies of something of the Shadow Fae?
She despises bear folk.
That makes me sad.
That is in the book.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying it makes me sad. She hates bear folk.
She despises bear folk.
Or cheeseburger.
Yeah.
No, Cheeseburger is an owlbear.
He's an owlbear. He's not bear folk. There is a difference.
So, just to give people chat a heads up, because we are, like, I don't think anybody is anything core out of the race-wise out of the player's handbook. I think everybody is using, aside from Alicorn, but everybody else is using it from this book right here, which is the Midgard Heroes Handbook. It was put out by Kobold Press. It's a book that is cleared for 5th edition. And it's got like a ton of different archetypes and whatnot for classes, as well as a couple new races. When Azure mentioned bear folk, it is actually bear people, not bugbears or, sentient owlbears. They are literal bears, literal sentient bears that inhabit the world. And speaking of the person who deals with the pirate captain owlbear, we come to Groudon.
Hi.
So what is your character's name?
So, my character's name is Tickles.
Tickles.
Yes, Tickles the rat. And
and he is a gunslinger, right?
is actually a female. And it is a gunslinger. It's Matt Mercer's gunslinger.
Yeah, the gunslinger from over on Critical Role.
Correct. And how she came to meet Captain Cheeseburger was while she was growing up. She has a true name, but that I'm coming up with at a later date.
Did
she did
Groudon
not
just
like
pause?
the way her people worked.
His camera paused, but his audio is still going.
Yeah, he froze.
Groudon? Did he crash?
He came near a shoreline.
Oh, there he is. Okay, so I missed a little bit of your backstory because your screen froze and then your audio cut out.
Sorry about that. Jesus.
So restart.
Okay. So pretty much with her, how she came with to find the captain, she didn't like the way that her people worked. She didn't like how her parents were acting. She didn't like how they treated other people. Her society was total garbage. She did not like it. So she decided to run away. So she ran away, and she was running from them when people were after her. Anyway, so she was on the beach on the shoreline. There was a ship, and she ran into a giant owlbear. And he saw what was happening, so he took her under his wing and went to Port Orem. So, in a sense, he liked the way that she was. She was joyous. She liked the way the city worked. She liked the way, how he looked, how others operated, and he was tickled in a way of how she was, and he named her Tickles. And pretty much in that way, she found her role in the society. She loved playing with guns a lot, so she decided to be a tinkerer, finding new ways to develop different builds, different weaponry to help her and Pirate City. And then, you know, of course, she's gone on an adventure and stuff like that. Another reason why I chose the name Tickles is it also pays homage to an old movie that I watched when I was younger. For those who watched The Land Before Time, Journey Through the Mists, Ducky finds a little rat, and his name was Tickles. So that's also a reason why I chose that name.
I like it.
That's so cute.
All right, so we've got everyone set up. So here's a question for all of you. How did you all meet and come across one another to where you've been, when the game takes place, you've been traveling together for about 6 months now? So what twist of fate or fortune brought the group together?
I'm being paid to be here.
That is the simplest yet straightforward reason. Yeah.
Well, you're being paid to travel with Lily, but how did Lily and her Knoll companion come and the rest of the group meet?
Maybe as they were traveling, Lily appealed to them in such a way of, hey, if you help me on my quest, it'll keep douche king the evil stepmother from trying to wreak havoc. I don't know.
So Lily pled her case to, like, the others who are now in the group to help in search of the tiara in order to ensure that Tharia still stays within her family's control.
Yeah, because Fey magic shouldn't be accessible to those who are, like, pretty much evil. Or something along those lines. Like, the land is sacred and needs to be protected.
So I have a feeling that even though they agreed to go with Lily, it wasn't necessarily the same end goal for them as it was for her. Like, seeing as how they come from different backgrounds and everything, there was something that spoke to them that had them sign on for this adventure. And I know Fox is his character is being paid, but Zorro, what about Lily's tale stuck out to Ash that made her want to accompany her and her Knoll in search for this tiara?
Part of it was political. Not political. It was just because she was raised with noble knowledge. She knew of the land. She knew who ruled what, as part of her education. So when she found out that her lover went missing, she went to go get help, but she really had no friends other than him because everyone kept shunning her. So she decided to travel on her own, and tried her best to find someone. She didn't care if she had to hire someone, just get someone to help her find her lover. And no one would help her until she came across Lily. And they're like, okay, notice that she was a fighter. Don't know how they feel about Dampiers, but they're like, all right, well, she could be useful in the meantime, but at the same time be beneficial to each other and travel with her while they find any information, just anything on where her lover might be.
I think that Lily would probably advocate to her sense of wanting to find the person. Like, well, our king and our princess will be happy to help those who help us, kind of thing.
That's about right. Yeah.
So it's like you scratch my back, and once I have rule, or my father is still in power, then I scratch yours.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of like a political / personal agreement between the two of you.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Ezrin, what spoke out to Rosaline about Lily's story that drove her to help?
Unbeknownst to the party, she wants to steal the tiara.
No.
I love it.
Pulling a tiny.
She's a darkling. She heard someone foolishly, talk about an open quest to find this object of art that grants, entitlement and royal privilege.
Well,
What
I figured the tiara would be more so for my bloodline, not just for anybody who grabs it. But
doesn't matter. I mean, it's a object of art that's coveted. That would gain her.
It's a shiny, and I want it.
It would gain her immense favor in the clan of Darkling that she was raised by. She can take that back to the Shadow Fae, and
it would boost her social standing like tenfold.
Exactly. She's like, oh yeah, I'm a hired hand, but her first opportunity she's gonna find, she's gonna be like, I'm gonna pilfer that thing.
Okay. 1v1 me IRL.
Let me write this down.
Am I gonna end up being your bodyguard again?
And Groudon.
Yes.
What about Lily's story spoke to Tickles that made her want to accompany her on this search for this this queen power giving tiara?
She was kind of forced in a way to go because Captain pretty much saw a flyer and he's like, do this. And she's like, why? Because I'm making you and there's a lot of money, so do it. And she kind of like grown, like she's like adolescent teenager-ish in a sense, so, or almost becoming like an adult. And she like straight up like, just having an attitude, and she was forced.
It was pretty much Cheeseburger heard rumors going around that somebody was looking for a tiara that bestows some sort of royal power on someone, and for whatever reason, Dad pretty much just told you to do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, going around, how does the group feel about one another? Like within the 6 months that you guys have traveled, has there been any tension between some of the group members, or have there been other feelings beginning to brew between one another? Or are you guys maybe still in that honeymoon phase of groups to where you're still trying to get a feel for one another?
I think there would probably be a bit of aggression from my character to Tickles, because gnolls are bullies. Like, they literally have a trait called bully.
Mm-hmm. Big bullies.
And they kind of push around anyone that's smaller than they are. And I'm sorry, but Tickles is the smallest of the group, so unfortunately she's the one that picks on.
Don't worry.
He doesn't go out of his way to like smack her around or anything, but he's very like dismissive of the things that she says, and whenever she like offers help, he's just like, you're not worth my time type of thing. It's very rude to her.
Don't worry, she always finds a way to make you trip.
I'm sure he deserves it too.
So it's more so like the relationship between them is sort of like your Noel dismisses Tickles, but at the same time, in order to try to prove to him that he's wrong, Tickles does everything in her power to trip him up and like pretty much just poke the bear constantly.
Pretty much.
Ash, because of her past experiences with people not treating her with kindness, out of all the people, she is more kind and open to Lily because she's the one that agreed to help her and really didn't cause any kind of panic or attack or anything like that. So she feels like out of the whole group, she's the one that she could probably trust the most. But at the same time, she doesn't completely trust her, only because they haven't gotten to that point yet. And then as far as everyone else, is more than happy to work with them, help them accomplish their goals within reason. Otherwise, for the most part, she's just kind of not really trust them until they give her a reason to trust them.
Sounds about right. Same for Lily. She'll probably just hang out with Ash every once in a while when they have downtime. And other than that, she'll just kind of read and try to keep up on, current events and listen to the whispers that are going around, try to keep an ear out for what's going on back at home to see what urgency she needs to press on with the quest. Not really hating or loving anybody, just kind of need to get this done type of deal.
Yeah.
Rosaline's pretty much ambivalent. She just kind of does what she wants to do and does what needs to get done. And she's not an early riser. If someone tries to wake her up while the sun's still high, she'll be kind of cranky about it. And she tends to stay covered up for the most part.
So definitely not a morning person.
Yeah, no way. Not a morning person.
Or a sunlight person.
Yeah, no.
So she streams on Twitch is what you're saying.
And when she's not hanging with the party, yes.
So giving characters a little bit of life here. I think what we're going to add a little bit of something that we've done in past games and which originated in Blades of the Dark. You guys are going to have a vice. Like something that's like your addiction. Like something you have to take care of on a normal basis when you're in civilization like towns or cities. There's just something that you have to do in order to sate like this feeling. So let's start with Alicorn. What is Lysandria / Lily's vice?
Probably crippling compassion. She doesn't feel fulfilled if she's not helping less fortunate. And it begins to mentally take a toll on her. I think that would be a good one.
So at some point while she's in towns or whatnot, she has to
Make herself useful or
she
give
has
money.
to like help the poor or volunteer at an area or pretty much just do her good deed for whatever.
Yeah, basically being a Disney princess and doing what she can to uplift those spirits of the less fortunate. Because I don't
Okay.
see her drinking or gambling or any of that other stuff.
This is true. What about Rosaline?
Because she has a background in Darkling training, aka criminal. Darklings are pretty much rogues and assassins, and spending decades and decades and decades being trained by such beings. Rosaline, if she's in a city of any significant size, will immediately try and find the underbelly of the town and see what shenaniganry she can get into.
So she is pretty much just any illegal activity that she can get her hands on, she'll do.
Yeah. She's not an assassin. That's not her deal. She prefers to steal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So I think
that's
for her
just-
vice, I'm just going to write down crimes.
Whoops.
Yeah. she pretty much, she'll try and find out, who the least secure nobles are in big cities, or if there's any, body who rumors of having something, particularly, shiny that, might need, being in better hands. She has the criminal contact feature, so she can, find, people who are trustworthy on the darker side of life.
We're
So-
totally gonna end up fighting very soon in the campaign, if I notice any of that.
Tickles. What is Tickles' vice?
Her vice is pretty much she.
Now, this could be anything. This doesn't just have to be like crimes or anything. This could be food. Like
Well-
but food would be like, it's not just you're going out to like the tavern eating. No, you're going out to like a high class restaurant, or you're gorging yourself anytime that you can. It's not supposed to be a positive.
She likes to help the poor in a way. Because the way she was treated while growing up, she has a kind heart.
Okay.
And if she finds someone, not like begging in a way, give a few gold here and there, more like find a way that's beneficial to help them in their daily life.
I'm trying to think of how to make that something that can fly off on a negative. Because it's your vice is your addiction.
An addiction.
Yeah.
Shopping.
Shopping. Now does she go out and she just like makes it rain on like expensive items as much as she can?
She doesn't go out as much while in her own city, because she's forced to do projects,
Mhm.
and she wants to see what other people have for weapons. Like, she wants to see if there's a gunsmith around. She wants to see what they do so she can learn, or something she might like, and she has to do it. Otherwise, she freaks out.
So this is her shopping. Is she's going out and she's spending money on items that interest her.
Yes,
Okay.
Like swords?
like swords.
Like
It
swords.
sounds like she's OCD.
Yeah, it's just like she goes out and if something shines, her eyes go onto it and she has to buy it.
Guns? You have guns?
Guns? Guns? This gun has a diamond on it.
More like, does it provide a lot of power?
Yes, it shoots diamonds.
I like that. Does it shoot swords?
Fox. What is the knoll with no name? What is his vice?
He has an addiction of sorts. Not like a need to get drunk or a need to get high or anything like that, but throughout the years of experimenting with alchemy via his tongue, his body has kind of become accustomed to it in a way, and if he goes too long without that kind of chemical chaos in his bloodstream, then he gets shaky and he basically like gets disadvantage on attacks and stuff.
Is he a drug addict?
In a way, it's kind of like a drug addict that hasn't had their fix.
So he's addicted to the side effects that alchemical compounds give.
Yeah, and it's not like a straight up, okay, I'm getting shaky, I need to drink this type of thing now. It's just kind of, it soothes him to work with all of these alchemical supplies just by the nature of how he works with it. It ends up in his body. There's no one singular compound that's going to make this go away for him. It's just messing with it all in general is what does it.
Okay, so it's not, you know, he has an itch that he has to scratch. It's just when he's working, he needs that hit.
Yep.
Okay, I can work with that. And Ash, what's your vice aside from the blood?
Actually, Dampiers don't need to rely on blood.
Really?
Yep.
Well, damn, I was hoping that we're gonna find some poor commoners in the towns with bite marks on them.
Oh God. No, Dampiers gain all basically kind of think of like Blade.
Yeah, all the powers, none of the weakness.
All their powers and none of the disadvantages. So, you know, super strength, all that stuff. She can drink to gain more health, like in fighting and stuff like that, but it doesn't need to sustain her.
It's not a necessity.
Yeah, and sunlight doesn't hurt her or anything like that. However, since she's lived in like this dark, cold forest for a long time, she's a little sensitive to the light, but it's not going to hurt her. She's just like, I'm not used to it. I was gonna say shopping because shopping sounded funny. you could do
shopping as well. Ash and Tickles can have like a shopping spree when they go out.
Be like, girlfriend, let's go shopping. It would either be like shopping or I don't know if it's really a vice because it's not really something that like she has to do. It's more of just something that relaxes her, and that would be wood carving. Which is something that Turok was teaching her in the woods, and she thought it was like a really cool skill. But again, I think that's just something to pass the time. I don't think that's really her like vice. So I'm gonna stick with shopping.
Okay.
And this is for anything. It could be because she's not so used to the outside world. It could be like a stupid little like lace doily, and she's like, "Oh my god, I have to have that," you know. So it's like it's whatever tickles her fancy in the moment.
Okay. So I'm gonna do vices on when you have to use them in a different basis than how we're doing in the Wednesday game. So while we were talking about it, I think I'm gonna introduce a stress system into the game.
Oh no.
To where when things happen that are out of the blue or anything, you can get stress. You fail a saving throw, you can get stress. You botch, you're going to get stress. And the way that you reduce this stress is by taking care of your vices.
Dude, are you bringing the old Ravenloft insanity chart into play?
No. I'm not going that far. I'm not going that far.
I've heard this horrible idea before.
The insanity chart is something that I love, but at the same time can destroy a campaign so fast.
My second edition Ravenloft was like a murder fest. It sounded very much like that chart. I was like, oh god, I've heard this before.
No. So like failed saving throws, botches, being knocked down to 0 hit points and being revived, it's going to cause stress to your body. And as you accumulate stress, you're going to start having negatives. And that's where your vice comes in. To help take your mind off of, you know, getting stabbed repeatedly by a bunch of kobolds in the knees. Or being eaten by a mimic for the 5th time in a day. And since we have the vices, and we have all that fun stuff, I want you guys to think. You've been traveling all these years. You've done stuff in your life before meeting this group because you are all level 3. You've had to make some sort of contacts So I want you to think, while we go and take our last break here, I want you to think of one friend, like one friendly, and one rival that you have made in your life. And when we come back, we will find out more about those guys. But we're going to take a quick 5-minute break here, the last one of the night, and we will catch you guys when we get back.
Well, I have my friendly, but damn.
I don't think my character can make friends.
Responsible for this blood.
All right, we are back.
I would double check on that one, but I don't think you add your damage bonus to superiority die.
Okay. Thank you.
And we're back. How are you
Hello.
guys? So, we got some of the creation done here. Now we're on into like the little added bonuses we're throwing into this game to give it a little bit more flavor. And before the break, I asked you guys for friendos and rivals for your characters. Why is Sombra keep falling on my keyboard?
I guess you just want to hack your keyboard.
Yeah, I've got a Overwatch Sombra miniature on my desk. Keeps falling on my keyboard.
Do you have her regular miniature, or do you have the special Hot Topic edition?
The purple one. When she's in her invisible mode.
Her the Hot Topic one! Yay! That's what I have.
All right. So let's do this. Let's do this in reverse order this time. So, Ash.
Damn it.
Who is your friendo?
Probably Turok.
Turok.
He's pretty much the only true friend she's made.
Okay. We know that they're lovers and everything like that. What about a rival? Like
Everyone else.
This doesn't have to be like they hate you and they're like thirsting for your blood. This could even be a friendly rivalry, but this is somebody who you're either always in competition with, or somebody that for some unfortunate turn or event and another has taken your relationship and spurned it to where they're looking for revenge. Or they want your head on a silver platter.
Well, that's everybody. But the only thing I can think of off the top of my head, unless I can think of something later, is eventually her brother becomes I don't want to say enemy, but I don't want to say rival. Basically, when he learned about Turok, he was incredibly against it. He's very much into the old ways of you are going to get together with either a human, a Dampier, or a vampire. Those are your only choices. So the whole you going with a half-orc is a big, huge no-no.
So he's very traditional-minded.
He's very traditional-minded, but he's also a very overprotective big brother, so he has the whole no one's good enough for my baby sister attitude at the same time. So when he finds out about him, he was very much against it. He wanted her to break it off, or he threatened to kill him, and she was like, no, don't you dare. So she has suspicions that maybe he was behind him suddenly disappearing, but she has no proof, and of course he's not going to say anything. So she's not.
What is her brother's name?
Her brother's name, I have this. Hold on. Her brother's name is Lias. And her father's name is Xavier.
Okay. Actually, I like that rivalry for her brother because it kind of connects with Turok, and it has that sense of like not really a sibling rivalry, but something to where the younger generation is trying to act out against a very heavy set tradition that the elder sibling is trying to reinforce and keep it in the bloodline style thing.
Pretty much, yeah. And her father knows about it too. However, even though he's not for it, he, like I said, he kind of treats her like a princess. He just dotes on her, and he's just like, you know what? As long as you're happy, I'm happy.
She's daddy's little girl.
Pretty much. So he doesn't really do anything. I mean, he's already got too much like business and nobility on his plate to worry about that. He's like, you know what? I'm not for it, but if you're happy, I'm happy. But brother's like, no.
Shut up, Dad. Traditions.
Yeah. Come on, Dad. God.
Fox, what about your Knoll assassin?
who finally has a name. His name is Zael, Zael. And I think his kind of adversary or nemesis, whatever name you want to give it, is a raven folk named Demril, who happens to be the one that blinded Zael. Zael was contracted to kill Demril, and he failed, ended up blind, and now he's ashamed of himself forevermore. So that's going to be his adversary. His friend, this is difficult because he's not a friendly guy. But I think I'm going to go with a female dragonborn named Oryss, OrYss. And she's the one that passes contracts to him, essentially. So less of a friend and more of a work acquaintance, but they aren't trying to kill each other, so that's a step in the right direction.
So to Knowles, that's friendship.
Yeah.
I don't hate you, and I don't want your head. So I guess that's friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Who we got next? Tickles.
Okay, so her ally, of course, is Captain Cheeseburger. As for the rival, she's actually gonna go with a sibling type rivalry, with her brother. Now, her brother's actually adopted.
And what is her adopted brother's name?
Rolger.
Okay.
Just spell that.
I got it.
Okay. The way how it is that her parents, her
Is
mother.
he a rat folk or is he something else?
He's something else. He is a smaller version of a minotaur. Her mother could not reproduce anymore to have a brother, so they took pity on a baby minotaur and adopted it.
Okay.
Now, for the rivalry, it's always he can do better than her what she can do. You know, if she's doing, like just small stuff, like if she's skipping stones with the water, he can do it better. And since her leaving, kind of, her parents kind of shunned him away, in a sense, because they took him in to help with her, to have a brother in a way. So now he's a little ticked, and him being shunned off, kind of is now pissed at her,
Mm-hmm.
in a sense. So him growing up and trying to find her in a way, and trying to more like show her that you ruined my life in a way, I'm gonna hunt you down.
Okay,
no.
so it was originally a sibling rivalry, but
Mhm.
now it's more a sort of like quest for revenge.
In a
Because
sense.
it's like I had a good life, and because you decided to act out, my life is ruined.
Yes, and he's actually an assassin while growing up.
Okay. And what about Rosaline?
Rosaline has her friend is obviously her criminal contact. His name is Mick Selpick, and he is a.
You can't see it, but I'm staring at the camera.
He's a darkling. He actually works in that criminal town that we mentioned earlier, and he wears a green business suit with like a little dome hat, and he plays at being very on the up and up, but he does a lot of shady back dealings in regards to thievery.
Everything.
Yeah, pretty much everything. Like basically, if there's some wrongdo happening, he's more than likely, if not in on it, has heard of it and trying to get in on it.
Okay.
And
What about a rival?
my rival is a bear folk named Seamus. And we're rivals because one of my very first jobs, Seamus was a mercenary guard, and he foiled my attempt at procuring an item for part of my training, and I've held the grudge against him ever since. And we have sort of a hate relationship. Basically, if we catch ourselves outside of an area where, we can duke it out, it usually might come to fisticuffs. But we play nice and we play civil in any city setting. I may meet him, but if I can get a chance to oh so gently slip a dagger into his throat around the carotid artery, so be it.
He just slipped on the knife, I swear.
Yeah, I swear, officer.
23 times, and then he rolled over it with his neck.
He slipped 75 times on my knife.
And then proceeded to roll over it. I mean,
yeah,
bear folk, what are you going to do?
Yeah, it was amazing.
All right, now I want you to think of something that your character has on their possession that they hold dear to them.
Were you just skipping me, or?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I got you.
Called you out.
Damn.
Princess, how could you?
Do you know who I am?
No!
Wow. I thought I got everyone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you
Welcome
better
to
be
the
sorry.
dungeon.
That's the issue. You went
Jesus.
in reverse order, so.
Off with his head.
You can't kill me. I'm the DM.
Go into the next plane, then off with his head.
All right. Lysandria, you're a friendo.
Friendo is a high fae named Nyla. I imagine I spent a lot of time with her being on my nice little island.
Now, when you say that she's a high fae, what sort of fae is she?
That's a good question.
Because fae is a very broad term.
I'll get back to you on that. I didn't think that far ahead. So I'll figure out what kind of fae she is
Okay.
later. And for my rival would probably be my stepbrother's guard captain, Idalin, because he is one of those key-cocky type guys that tries to push himself on women, and he has harassed my handmaidens before. So I just don't like him because he's chauvinist pig. So that's pretty much it. He's very date rapey, so I want to murder his face, but I can't because he's part of Stepbrother's Guard.
I volunteer.
He's one of those very too big for his britches
Yep.
style knight, to where he thinks that the title gives him power over others.
Yep.
Just put it in our contract. Consider it done.
TVG, I was thinking about that too, making Nyla a pixie.
That's a good idea. We could just go with that.
Okay, so Nyla is a pixie. All right, now that I haven't skipped over anyone, I want you guys to think of something that has some form of sentimental value to your character. And I want you to add this onto your character sheet.
So it has to be a tangible item.
It has to be a tangible item. It has to be something that your character...
Taken away.
that can be taken away, but it's something that your character holds dear for one reason or another. Now, this can be my left big toe.
Oh, gets me where I wanna go.
So, we're going to start with Alicorn this time, so we don't skip her. What is your princess's sentimental item?
I believe it would be one of those ear cuffs that kind of wraps around the top of the ear and goes down.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably her mother's. And it just kind of looks it's silvered. It looks a bit like ivy.
Okay.
No stones or anything, just plain silver. Doesn't look like it's worth anything, but sentimentally it's worth a lot to her.
All right. Groudon, what is Tickle's item?
Her item is her very first golden coin that the captain gave her on their first pillage. And it kind of looks like this.
Does she keep it in a separate bag from the rest, or how does she carry it about her?
She carries it around her neck with a very sturdy chain.
Okay. Azarin, what is Rosaline's thing?
Rosaline's would be her arcane focus, which was gifted to her by the elder darkling of her clan.
Okay, so hers has also not only sentimental value, but it is also something that she uses on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I mean, her otherworldly patron is the Queen of Night. So the Queen of Night rules the Shadow Realm, and she's immensely loyal to the Queen of Night for choosing her to be a warlock. Because for those who aren't familiar with warlocks, warlocks don't choose to be warlocks. Warlocks are chosen by their patrons. So basically something otherworldly taps you and offers you power, and you accept, and that power is given to you for your fealty. Because not only is it something that was given to her by her clan leader, but something that lets her basically attune to the power of her patron. She covets it very highly.
Okay. Zoro, what is Ash's sentimental item?
He technically has two.
Okay.
She has her family's signet ring, which is special to her because, family means everything to her, regardless of what her brother thinks. And then she also has a very small wood carving of a stag that Turok gave her as his first gift to her.
Nice. And Fox, what is Zale's sentimental item?
Again, a little bit difficult because gnolls aren't known for their sentimentality. But I think I'm going to go with Demeral's dagger. So when he was blinded, he managed to snatch the dagger that did it. And it's a very intricate and ornate dagger. On the hilt, it's like carved with a very beautiful raven in like a rose gold, and it's very shiny. It has a kind of medium length curved blade to it. Very agile looking dagger, but also very practical. He does use it in his offhand in battle.
Okay. Now, the reason why I am asking you each to have a sentimental item is because there are going to be times when you're out on the road, you're not in town, and things may get a little stressful. So as long as you have the sentimental item on your person, every long rest you are able to remove 1 point of stress. As long as you have this item on you. Though, if you lose this item, every night that you are without it gives you a point of stress. These items are something that you hold near and dear to your heart. So these are things that you will, out of most of the stuff they have, these are the things that you will go out of your way to protect. Azrin's shaking his head over here like he already sees my brain starting to plot things for you guys.
Don't do it.
Yep. I was like, can I get through season 2 without emotional distress?
No.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Of course
Not gonna
not.
happen. Not gonna happen.
I mean, to be fair, you really didn't get the emotional stress until near the end of season 1, when things started getting a little dark.
True, but I mean, dude, that was beyond emotional stress. It was
Mhm.
like, oh, what? Oh crap! Because we already had the discussion how things were gonna happen with Ichirai, so it was gonna be a very different epilogue. It'd be a very different epilogue.
Yeah. Oh, so we got most of the world complete. The southern realm where you guys will be starting in is already completed. I had taken the time to go out and add areas onto here. That being said, before we sign off, do you guys have any questions about the world or anything that just pops into your mind?
I have a question.
Yes.
I had a contract to kill royalty, and I did it. How much did I get paid?
Well, you know what?
That's a fair question.
That is a fair question. Give me a d6.
Ooh, you one.
You were paid 400 gold for the kill.
I'll take it.
And I just want to point out my equipment that I start with. I have the option of having a riding horse, riding saddle, and bit and bridle, or a donkey, pack saddle, and cart, or a pair of mastiffs. So I'm gonna need 2 mastiff tokens and sheets, please.
So Beauregard 1 and Beauregard 2.
Yeah, pretty much. So I've got two cute, cuddly little puppies that are traveling with us, and I just saw that, and I was like,
Cuddly, yes. Tiny, no.
I'll just call one Beau, and I'll call the other one Regard.
My question is, what kind of firearm do you want me to start with?
Your firearm is going to be a 3-shot pistol.
3-shot pistol. Okay.
It doesn't mean it goes off in a triple burst. It means you have 3 shots before you have to reload.
Okay. Is that the 1d10?
Pull this up here. Doc, he doesn't get a caster to start off with.
No, and it doesn't do 2d6 damage.
To yourself.
Exactly.
Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Let's see here. Yes. It's the 1d10, and I am wrong. It is 4 shots.
Okay, so
It's the pistol on there.
Okay, it's the pistol 4-shot.
Yeah.
And then I had a question that me and Zarin were actually talking about earlier. So, with my Battle Master archetype, I use superiority die, and I use it every single time I use a maneuver. And it's a 1d8 die per maneuver 4 times.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily say, so I wanted to just confirm. There is no modifier on top of it, correct? Like I don't use my strength modifier or anything. It's just a straight up 1d8.
The 1d8 is added onto your damage, right? Or what is it added onto? Yeah, it's just it's the straight up d8.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure so that way it doesn't have.
Yeah, it's a d8 bonus.
Okay.
And I had another question as well.
The Psycho Clown, thank you for that bit.
Thank you for the bit. Because I was thinking of Lysandria and all of her handmaidens having like a mark, basically signifying their status or standing.
Mm-hmm.
That's enchanted so only they can have it. Basically using that as like for, because I don't know how much money you want me to start with because I'm a princess and I'm rich.
Well, seeing as how, yes, you are a princess, but you are under the disguise of a handmaiden, you're not going to be starting off with like a unlimited Avara credit card or anything like that.
Okay. I was thinking like for my flaw where I have to help the needy and stuff, basically using the mark as charge it to this kingdom's coffers, more or less. If that's a thing you'd be cool with.
So, sort of like you're writing promissory notes.
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that.
Just because that'll take care of the micromanaging of, oh well, I gave this much to this person and this.
It also
much to
gives
this
me
person.
something though. It also gives me something to work with.
I feel like that's negative. But how much money do you want me to start off with? The mark thing will be a last ditch effort.
The money is going to be based off of whatever your character class says. Like whatever the starting money.
It doesn't
mention
say.
It should have
Starting money. Starting money is in the equipment guide. Is in the equipment table.
And
give me a second. I'm actually there.
Player's handbook.
I'll tell you what you get.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Especially since, because that was my next question too. I was like, I'm nobility, so I was like, what do I start off with?
Okay, so what I will say is do the starting money to buy your equipment and everything. And then afterwards, you can each give yourselves 100 gold since you guys have been traveling. So you've got about 100 gold on you at the moment.
So I know we have a couple fighters. Fighters are 5d4 times 10 for starting gold.
Sorry, 5d4s plus what?
Times 10.
Times 10.
Oh, times
starting
10.
gold.
Okay.
For the barbarian, it's 2d4 times 10.
And our doc says noble background gives something as well.
I just don't remember what it is.
I can look it up. I have all that stuff in front of me. And for me, it's 44. And let's see, noble background. I'll tell you in one hot minute. Background, noble.
25 gold pieces.
25? Okay.
Yep, you get you specifically get a purse containing 25 gold pieces. You have a fine set of clothing. You get a signet ring. You have a scroll of pedigree. You're also proficient in one gaming set, and you get one additional language of your choice.
Oh, that's right. I have a gaming set. That's right. All right. Thank you very much.
And what was it for a bard for gold? Because that's the closest thing, I guess, to what I am.
5d4.
Yeah, so use the starting money to equip yourselves and then, like, after you've equipped yourself and everything, give yourselves 100 gold.
And I'm not looking forward to rolling in. I'm cursed with ones today.
Need to look up what gaming sets there are now.
Where would I go on this character sheet to add like armor and stuff?
Equipment. You just add it in your equipment list.
Yeah, easiest thing to
And
do,
then-
Groudon, is click on the eye, the compendium.
Where's the
Go
eye?
up where the icons are, where the chat
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Click on the eye, and then go to items, and then scroll down until you see the armor you have, and then drag it over to the character sheet. It'll add it to your equipment table, and you'll get your AC bonuses for it.
Just a heads up though. It has to be not popped out from Roll20 in order for the character sheet to work.
Yes, for the compendium drag and drop, yes, it
Yep.
can be popped out.
Oh, that's pretty cool. This is dope.
Yeah. This character sheet works completely with the compendium that they have loaded up into Roll20. So, like, any spells or anything that you get later on, if you're a spellcaster, you can just drag and drop into there.
Cool. I almost have everything. Yay. I just looked up what the scroll of pedigree was because I wasn't 100% sure. And in a forum, someone's like, "You use it to cow peasants into giving you what you want, or to convince nobles you belong in their company." Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a pedigree dog papers.
Oh, okay.
I am pure-blooded royalty. Here's my papers saying that, you know, I am what I am, and it, you know, traces my lineage back 3,000 generations.
Well, okay.
Another question
Mm-hmm.
is, even though I am a gunslinger and I'm using the fighter class, it says a martial weapon and a shield, or two martial weapons. Can I use the pistol and like a scabbard?
You mean
No
a
way.
sword?
Yeah, a sword.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
You're still trained in martial weaponry.
Okay, just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, your specialization may be in pistols, but you don't just forget how to use basic weaponry.
All right, I just wanted to.
And guys, don't forget to give yourselves healing potions. I do that way too often.
Yes. Oh my god, thank you.
Yes, buy healing potions. Because if you haven't recognized, or if you haven't realized it, none of you are healers.
Yeah, they cost 50 gold pieces.
None of us are healers.
Yep, no healers.
Fox and I are both kind of healers.
Yeah, we can kind of off heal,
Yep.
sort of, in a
Fine.
complicated way.
I mean, if you
Healing.
want to try some Knoll alchemy.
Well, you
Yeah,
never did.
blood, Knoll alchemy.
You never did get back to me on the healing hair thing.
Like Rapunzel?
Like Rapunzel.
Yep.
I completely forgot about the healing hair thing.
Yep. because I have one technical healing ability, but
Wait, like your hair touches us and we heal, or we have to like ingest like a strand of hair?
Oh, I figured I'd have to snip a little bit off and use it as like a bandage.
Oh, okay. Also, don't have to eat it.
No.
What's your healing ability right now?
I'm looking for it right now. Majestic healing pool of my inspiring touch can be restored. As a bonus action, you may convert expended hit points from your healing pool with your majesty points. For every majesty point converted, you regain 5 hit points into your healing pool. You cannot exceed the maximum healing pool with this ability, but may regain them. That's just for me. Sorry. I lost it. It's here somewhere.
No, I don't think it. I think if it's on if it's not on like the sheet itself, I'm not gonna put in something like healing hair.
Okie dokie. Then we have a Knoll Alchemist who might be a healer.
Yep, but since you all have a Knoll Alchemist who is a healer, everyone can start off with a healing potion that heals 2d6 plus 4 hit points. That at some point in time, Zale has made for you.
Okie dokie. My money. Okay. All right. Pretty easy. Got this.
Actually, one of my abilities is to place a bounty on somebody's head.
Did 2d4 plus 6?
2d4 plus 6.
Okay.
No, 2d6 plus 4. 2d6 plus 4.
Oh, okay. Like, that's gonna make it any better.
Thanks to my Dampier ability, like 3 of my skills just like got beefed up. So happy.
One of the things that I'm proficient in using is a disguise kit, but I'm really struggling trying to visualize a blind Knoll trying to disguise himself as someone else.
I see it as he just puts like a hood, like a cloak hood over himself, and for some reason people just believe he's something else.
Yeah, I mean that's about all he could really do.
Yep.
His disguise self is also based off of like a story that Lily spins for him on who he's supposed to be.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good idea.
I found the other ability I was thinking of. Inspiring Touch. My touch is inspiring and an uplifting one. Gain a pool of hit points that you can heal using this touch equal to your levels in Princess times 5. So that would be 15. As an action, you can touch a creature and instill a portion of the special healing or all of it at your choice. Creatures who have less than 1 HP cannot revive or receive healing from you by your inspiring touch, since the healing is morale boosting and not magical. And I cannot use it on myself.
Okay. So
I
you have like a healing hands type ability.
pretty much. So if somebody's hurt, I could just be like 2 HP to you and 4 HP to you and whatever until I use up the 15 HP that's in my pool.
Until
That's cool.
and then like you get it back when you do a long rest.
So it's like the paladin lay on hands.
Yep.
Yep. I can refill the pool using majesty points, but I only have 5 of those at level 3, and those are how I use my talents too. So probably not gonna be.
Groudon, you click on where it says pistol. in the chat area itself. You click on pistol and it rolls the damage.
If you wanted to automatically roll the damage,
Yeah.
click on the little cogwheel to
Okay.
the right of spells and auto damage roll on the drop down. Do auto damage roll and crit.
Hold on. Is it on the right side? No.
In your character sheet, there's the little cogwheel
Yeah,
right
I'm
beside
at that part.
spells. Then in
Yeah,
the
it's
box on the right hand side, near the top, there's whisper rolls to GM, auto damage roll, core die roll, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so auto roll damage and crit, right?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yep.
Yep. And then when you roll it, it'll auto do the thingy.
There you go.
All right.
All right. You guys got anything else, or do you think we're good?
I think we are good. Do we need to talk to you in private at all about more backstory and whatnot?
Yeah. Now that you guys have been that you guys have made your characters and everything's been introduced, if you want, you can send me like a write-up of your character for their backstory. If you do, like, any backstories that you guys send me only help the campaign because it gives more life to your characters, and I can bring it into the fold somewhere during the plot.
Okay. Cool.
But I think for now that is like we're going to end a little bit early tonight, since we have character creation and part of most of the world created. And so when we come back next week, it will be the official start of season 2.
Yep.
Starting at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time and running until 10:30. This is going to be the start of season 2 and you got a huge world that you got to explore. I already have ideas on things that are going to be plaguing you guys.
Yay!
Hey, that's a good thing.
I
It's
swear zombies at the start.
It's entertainment
Truth.
for all of us, not just me. But we will be back here next week for this show, starting at 6:30 Pacific time. Tomorrow we will be here again at 6:30, doing a continuation of our low magic pirate based D&D game Keelhauled. And then on Sunday on Saturday for the oh man, I'm a horrible person.
You want me to take over for you?
Was it Twisted Fates or Endless Realms?
Endless Realms.
Yeah. Endless Realms is what we're going to be doing on Saturday. It's going to be an 8-hour thing. We're playing go ahead, Alicorn. I am losing my words big time right now.
We're going to be playing Endless Realms, which is going to Kickstarter on the 24th. So this is going to be an exclusive first look at the content that they're releasing for their Kickstarter. One of the creators is going to be DMing for us. It's going to be 8 hours long. It's going to be super fun. If you haven't checked out their stuff, feel free to do so. It's definitely beautiful artwork, and I'm super excited to see what these guys get into with it.
All right, and then on Sunday we will be back again at 6:30 for the continuation of everyone's favorite suffering campaign, our Blood Moon Adventures, which is a Tomb of Annihilation campaign. But yeah, we're going to go on a raid here soon, but before we do, Zorro, who are you and what do you do on the internet?
I am Zoro for Me 3. I am on here Tuesdays and Wednesdays, otherwise on my own channel. I've had a lot going on in my life, so I've kind of been cutting back on hours, unfortunately. But when I do stream, I am a variety streamer, as well as the occasional creative art streams where I do either character drawings or emotes commissions. Yeah.
Groudon, who are you and what do you do on the internet?
I am Master Groudon. I am soon to be wonderful, chaotic, stupid rat folk. Just kidding. I'm a variety caster. I pretty much play flavor of the month games. So like in a couple days, God of War. That's gonna be super fun. Been hearing a lot of great things about it. If not playing pretty much big mainstream games, I'm a MMO. Uh, Pretty much for World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14.
Fox, who are you and what do you do on the internet?
I am HB Fox. I'm the manager behind the Hunter Wild. We are a community and conversation driven, I hesitate to say variety, but still technically variety broadcast here on Twitch. We're moving away from just exclusively doing gaming content. We're still going to be doing a lot of it, including all our regular big launch events and stuff. But we're looking to introduce some really unique and I want to say never before done on Twitch segments to our broadcast in the coming months and the coming years. So feel free to stop by and say hello anytime you see us online.
Ezrin, who are you and what do you do on the internet?
I am a meat popsicle. But when I'm not doing that, I am trying to get back into variety, more charity streaming, specifically for Extra Life. I'm getting a actual real like ring light, something that I can actually afford because IRL blows balls right now. And aside from trying to get back into doing something to alleviate my personal stress and anxiety, is basically sending out mounds and mounds and mounds of please hire me because I'm super cool and can do super cool stuff emails.
Alicorn, who are you and what do you do on the internet?
I am Alicorn. I'm the community manager for Dungeons and Distractions. I hang out here on Sundays and Tuesdays. I got some other super fun stuff in store, maybe starting very soon. So definitely keep an eye out on our social media for that. Going to, as we said previously, have that Endless Realm show on Saturday. So if you do want to take a peek at their content, please join us for that. Should be loads of fun. When I am not playing D&D, I am sometimes streaming, but that's not very often. But when I do stream, it is usually RPGs or something. I don't even remember last thing I streamed. I think I was knitting last time. I'm not entirely sure.
Hey, knitting streams are a legit thing.
Yes, they are.
And guys, do them.
And I am Rojan Quest. I am one of the DMs here on Dungeons and Distractions, and I have my own channel where I focus on a variety of RPGs, FPSs, and fighting games. We just beat Far Cry 5 last night. Azarin was disappointed in the endings.
Oh, don't worry, I was
and
too.
jumping back into Dauntless here in the upcoming days. Probably be doing that tomorrow, doing tomorrow's afternoon stream. And slowly but surely planning out a birthday stream for next month. Probably going to do another 12 or 24 hour stream. But that is going to do it for us tonight. We are going to go on a raid, though. We are going to go raid the Hunter Wild, who is actually playing Dauntless right now. So, hit that...
Seriously?
What?
Never plays Dauntless when I'm playing Dauntless.
So, hit that join button up at the top there. Let's go show them some love. Our raid command is, I heard there were dragons in here. There we go. Just go in there, spam it a couple times in the chat, show them some love, and we will catch you guys tomorrow for some more Keelhauled, and Saturday for our... We got cut out.